Hi all, this is Mew 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 Mew. Since everyone that is watching is beautiful people, today we're going to cover everything you need to know about your beauties. First of all, you're going to find your beauties in your mansion. When you open the beauty menu, you're going to see your beauties ranked by their rarity. At the very top, you can see a summary, which is typically used for your rankings. Below each beauty, you're going to see their intimacy levels shown by a heart icon, and then their charm shown by a flower icon. If a beauty has a skill or points that need to be spent, like everything in this game, a red dot appears next to their name. Unlike everything else, do your best to ignore it. We'll cover that later on down in the video. But down below in the very bottom right-hand corner, you're going to go ahead and see a summon button. This is for more than just making kids. Every time you summon a beauty, they're going to earn skill points that can be spent to power up your retainers. If you happen to have the auto summon button checked, it can summon up to 10 random beauties at once in an ironically safe for work way. If you are out of summons, you can actually use an energy pill, which is ironically not small nor blue, to add up to 3 more summons. Kind of in the middle there, at the very bottom, you're going to see an acquainted button. This is going to show you what beauties are left randomly roaming the world for you to acquire and what the requirements are. So it's important to kind of keep an eye on them in order to see what's available and how to get them. The really important ones, though, down at the very bottom to keep attention to is both that skill bonus button and the banners button. We're going to click on this banners button first. This is going to organize your beauties in a slightly different way. This is going to organize them by kind of your intimacy and charm rankings. So let's get a closer look kind of at one of our beauties. So at the very top here at this lady category, or our gentry for the men in our harem, we're going to take a look at the seamstress. Now we can see that she is a green or an A ranked beauty. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to our main menu. We're going to scroll all the way down in order to find our green seamstress here. And so she's all the way down at the bottom. We're going to go ahead and click on her. And so this is going to bring up her individual page. And so up in the top left corner, we're going to confirm that, yes, I am on the seamstress. And yes, she is currently carrying the banner of a lady. On the left-hand side, kind of lower, we're going to see another little banner that has her skills listed, her banner, and then an opportunity to take her on a date. Certain beauties do have attires related to certain date items. I am not privy to that information, so don't ask me. I'm sure other more experienced members in the guild might know more information. For now, though, we're going to go ahead and take a look at her banner information. So we're going to click on banner, and this is going to pull up her information. And this is going to tell us what it takes to rank her up from a lady to a baroness. This also tells us currently what her current heir or her children are coming out as. So as a lady, her heirs or her kids are coming out as smart, and her current banner effect means earning of adult peasants are coming out with a 15% earning bonus, which is actually quite awesome. And if I click the little eye icon next to it, I get a little more information. So in order to rank that up to a plus 20% earning bonus for adult peasant heirs, so basically once the peasant kids grow up, I'd have to rank her up to a viscountess. So that basically means that not only would I have to promote her to a baroness, but one beyond that in order to get that plus 20% bonus. That's not going to happen anytime soon, but for an A-ranked, a pretty low-ranked beauty, kind of makes some sense, so don't get your hopes up. Some of your higher ranked, so SSRs, sometimes you get bonuses every single time you promote. Some of them have really OP skills, so it makes sense that they kind of rank up occasionally. So this is a pretty average skill. But why would we want to rank up an A ranked thing? Well, the important thing is that air status, getting it from smart to bright. In this particular case, let's go back to that banner skill off of that main menu. So if we look down here at what a lady or a gentry would possibly be, next to that banner, you're going to see that little eye icon. And if you click on that, it's going to give us information about what an air status smart does. So if we enhance them, or basically when we feed them those vitality pills or those grow up pills, we in exchange get EXP tokens. Those EXP tokens are used in order to increase retainer levels. We also get a reward of 15 books as a dowry when we marry them off, and a basic earning of 150% silver as a grown child. So, say we had a base child level of a 10K earning kid. If a kid was smart, then instead they would be a 15K kid. Okay? Well, if we promote her up to Baroness, and her kids all of a sudden become bright, instead we're going to get 175% EXP tokens. And then when we marry off those kids, we get a 21 book reward. And the basic earnings of those kids are going to be 200%. So that means instead of a 10K earning kid, we now have a 20K earning kid. And considering this game is all about kind of small rewards in order to make a larger earning amount, this is actually quite a big thing. Now, the other thing that's very important to know is the smarter the kid, the more grow-up pills you have to feed them. So they do take a little longer to raise, but in the end, the reward is well worth it because those kids will be forever earning you money and a part of your income. So totally worth it. All right, so it's important to be able to go ahead and rank them up. So let's go ahead and click on her and go back to this banner here and see what the requirements are. You can see listed under banner the requirements to promote her is we need both a certain intimacy level, a certain charm level, and a certain amount of wives in the harem. Cool. Now her charm, she's got 515 of 500, so she's plenty charming. But her intimacy is a little lacking. Whose isn't? So she's at 452 of 500. So how do we raise her intimacy? If you encounter a beauty while traveling, you can raise their intimacy while randomly encountering them while traveling, but that's not real consistent. Charm is actually easier to raise by donating once you unlock that out of the suburb. So that's typically why most of your beauties will have a higher charm level. But right now we're going to manually, forcefully be intimate with her in order to make sure that we're going to raise her intimacy level. In order to do that, we're going to force feed her items. And to do that, we're going to use these items down here. And you'll see that there are 5 items to choose from. They're actually quite easy to distinguish what does what, because in the lower left-hand corner, you'll see either a flower icon for something that increases charm or a heart icon for something that increases intimacy. So you have the comb, the hairpin, the earrings, and these all increase intimacy. Then you have the rouge, and then you also have the satchel, which increase charm. So I typically don't use these items except if there's a rush or a challenge happening. Now, for the sake of this video, though, I'm going to go ahead and promote her. Cool, so it looks like we unlocked a skill. All right, cool. So now she is currently at Intimacy 500. So we're going to go ahead and click on Banner. And she is now able to be promoted. So we're going to go ahead and promote her. So since I just unlocked a skill, let's go ahead and now talk about skills. So this is another thing that I neglected for way too long. So let's go ahead and deal with that skill point that I just unlocked. So if we click on the skill icon, which has that red dot, it will take us to her skill page. And if we scroll all the way down to the bottom, we will see her skills. And it looks like I have another skill point that I've neglected to handle. So if we click on that, we'll actually see this enhance button. And we've got two options. Either I can spend a jade that will automatically roll into a 20, or I can spend silver to do that. It has a maximum of 30 points. And if we click on this, that's the maximum it can go to. It won't allow me to spend any silver nor jade on it. Up at the very top, above earning skill, you'll see that you have the 5 retainer symbols and a percentage next to it. What that's doing is that's showing the total market earnings that she is boosting. So that's actually really quite cool. And if we go back and down at the bottom, that skill bonus icon that I conveniently glossed over, this shows us the total market earning bonus that all of our beauties are giving us. So actually, the more you promote intimacy and charm, the better off your market earnings are going to be. So one of the things that I've kind of figured out is it's actually best to just kind of put on the best thrash metal you have and slowly get on your knees and pray to RNGesus and hope that you're going to go ahead and get a pretty high percentage bonus here. So typically what I will wind up doing is tapping this out until it either hits above 20%. Oh, and there we go. Or my total millions points, or the total cost per tap is somewhere in the billions. Oh, and we managed to hit a 22 there. So RNGesus is on our fate side today. And notice how my rover skill wound up going from somewhere in the 80s. We could rewind back and find that out, up to 107%. And I've probably earned something like 20K. That's the equivalent to a halfway decent kid. So not so bad. The other two things that are very important to talk about is retainer and escort tabs. So these are the other two things that are going to be perpetually the red dots that you have to ignore. And the reason why is you want to have these skills build up. So each beauty typically has up to 4 retainers associated with them. Now, whether or not you have these retainers are a totally different factor. Now, I've been told by much better players than I that you typically don't want to mess with these until there is a retainer earning rush. Yeah, I never follow that practice. I need some income. So, whoops. Now, this particular beauty happens to have Teamster King and Cook Zeng associated with her. So I happen to have both of them. Now, I do anything on the retainers tab that will power them up. You'll notice there's 2 different ways to power them up. The top one, Heavenly Beauty, just gives them a raw silver increase. Now, that's really good. But that's not as important as the skill full bloom. If you notice, it gives them a percentage increase. Now, each level only increases it by a 0.5% per level. They may not sound like much, but a percentage increase scales no matter how much their income grows. And in this game, you always go for the percentage increase because it scales with your retainer. And then up top, you'll see how much your retainer has gained from this particular beauty. So you can see Teamster King has gotten 28.2K off of this, and Cook Zeng has gotten 34.1K. I apologize so much for my bad pronunciation, by the way. Now, what's interesting is let's go to the escort tab. Oh yeah, by the way, on the retainer tab, this particular lotus flower, this is the lotus flower you get from summoning your beauties. So, even if you're not producing heirs, as long as you're able to summon your beauties, please do that. Just so that way you're generating this EXP point and you can boost them up. Now, on the escort tab, this is generated entirely off of your escort EXP. So out of your guild when you have the opportunity to escort, or also when you have the opportunity to plunder those poor, unfortunate escorts. On the upside, when you increase your intimacy, or when you increase your charm, they become better fighters and plunderers. So congratulations. Now, yet again, like the last one, you'll see the two options. You have the option up top of increasing the funding, and then the bottom one of increasing aptitude. What's interesting is aptitude scales based off of a retainer's level, but essentially it's anywhere from 0.5% to 0.3%. Now, here's the other thing that's cool to note. The numbers on the two tabs are different. Yes, that basically means that you're kind of double stacking as far as how much your beauty is increasing them. So let's actually go to Cook Zing and see what he's doing. So I'm going to go to my retainer tab and we're going to scroll down. Here he is. And here's the really fun thing. And I can do an entire video, and I probably will, on retainers. But here next to his level, class, aptitude, then you see that also familiar little I button. And you've got the three segments: the aptitude, level cap, and earnings. Under aptitude, all aptitude counts as equal aptitude. And you'll see there's a +5 aptitude because of beauty. And then under earnings, you'll see that he's getting 38.6K from his beauty, and he's getting a 12.5% bonus from the beauty skill. So it's really important in order to continue summoning your beauties and then also continuing to use your retainer XP in order to kind of level up your retainers. There's one last thing I haven't really mentioned. So when you click on the beauties and you scroll all the way down, you're going to see some beauties that are grayed out on mine. So after you have reached a certain level of mansion, you're going to unlock the workshop. And the workshop kind of does something interesting. It kind of puts your beauties on hold. So in the sense, they can't passively earn charm from the donation, and they're not able to be summoned to produce kids. So if we look at banners, all of those beauties there are in the two that are in there are in my first maid butler level, so they're like my really low tier, and then the other two are out of my lady gentry level, right? So until I'm able to promote some more retainers up, they're all going to sit in limbo there, right? And what they do in the workshop is every day they produce fabric, and I can use that fabric to increase intimacy. So they're kind of like a free sweatshop for me. And so I'll go ahead and claim that. So it's something that you definitely, it's, if they have skills that you want to use, definitely don't freeze them. Now, the downside is the retainers associated with these particular um, ladies aren't going to be able to get upgraded because if you notice, they have 0 skill points available because they're not getting summoned. Now, they can still acquire escort skill points, so that is a bonus, but you do want to kind of weigh that in mind when you're working with these, and you put someone in the sweatshop of Siberia. So, all right, I think that about covers for it. This was an incredibly long video, but I hope it was very informative. Well, everybody, stay beautiful.